Hi, Leo. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always. And I'll also pull the Four Agreements, Wisdom, Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off my Rowan Knows astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Alright, so we have 10, and for you guys, your 10th house is Taurus. 10th house in general relates to career, social status. You guys have Uranus and the North Node in Taurus. Alright, we have Neptune, and Neptune's actually been in Pisces for a really long time, and for you guys, Pisces, rather, is actually your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, investments. And we have Capricorn. So Capricorn energy for you guys is your 6th house, and that relates to your health, work, daily routines. We've had Pluto there for a really long time, so could be some focus on that area of life for you guys as well. But with all that away, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Queen of Cups, and challenging that, we have the Page of Swords. So I feel like what this is primarily saying for a lot of you is you guys are holding back around something, right? So for some of you, it can be an emotional thing, especially given that this is a Cups energy, and for you guys, Cancer energy represents your 12th house. We also see that that cup is closed off. It's the only cup in the cup suit that's like that too. And then to see the Page of Swords coming out as a challenge to that, I feel like it's saying that there's something that you're feeling, but there's difficulty around you guys actually coming out and expressing what you're feeling. So many areas of life that could impact. Could be a romantic connection, could be friendships, family, you name it. But that's what I see there. It looks like there's some reluctance to speak on your feelings at this time. All right. In the foundation position, we have the Two of Pentacles. So here's some Capricorn energy here, which we also saw with your dice. For some of you, could be possibly related to a financial thing, right? Maybe you're trying to make a decision. So, for example, maybe you have some kind of a creative venture that you want to launch, but maybe you're more tied down with a more traditional career path, right? So you might be trying to figure out, could you do both at the same time, or is there a way you could possibly leave one behind, right? So that could be kind of the decision-making process that you guys are going through right now. But yeah, either way, it looks like there's a couple of options you're weighing right now. All right. Past position, we have the Page of Cups. So for some of you, you actually might have presented this offer in the past and maybe it wasn't received too well, right? Because maybe it wasn't necessarily ready for presentation yet, right? Because we look at the cup that he's holding there, if we could get it to focus again. Easier said than done, apparently. But there's still a fish in that cup, as you can see. So it could be one of those things where you might have made the offer in the past, but it might have been rushed, right? Or it might have even been a totally different offer, but your mind goes back to that moment in the present to where you're like, oh, I don't want to go through that situation again, or feeling rejected, right? Or feeling like you rushed something before it was ready, things along those lines there. All right, in the present position, we have the Six of Wands. So this is actually a Leo energy here. And to me, this says that you are being celebrated around something, right? So maybe it's one area of life where you're doing really well, but another area of life where you might be struggling. Could be something along those lines there. But yeah, looks like you're definitely getting some encouragement here. So, all right, here's another generic example that just came to my mind. So let's say you have this creative thing you've been working on, right? Maybe you've shown a few of your friends, maybe a few relatives, right? Now, like, oh, this looks amazing. You should totally put it out there, right, for the broader audience to see. But for whatever reason, you could be really shy around it, right? So you might be second guessing, like, okay, yeah, they're all saying it's great, but are they just saying that because they're my friends or my family, right? Whatever the case may be. So that could be maybe the push-pull you guys are feeling in that regard. That's just one super generic example of how I can see those energies playing out. All right, and your future position, we have Temperance reversed. So yeah, this is a Sagittarius card here, and to see this come up in reverse could just be saying that you feel like things aren't just right yet, right? The Temperance is definitely an energy of balance, and you just, again, like I said, I feel like you just might not feel like whatever the situation is, you're ready to put it out there. So I really do feel for some of you it could be more of a romantic thing, but like I said, it could be multiple areas of life, especially in a general reading like this, that it's impacting. But yeah, it looks like there's a bit of a hesitancy on your part to put yourself out there. All right, in a position of your influence in a situation, we have the Chariot. So interestingly enough, here we have more Cancer energy, just like we had in the main situation position, but this is the major arcana side of that. So I feel like this is saying that you're part of you really does want to move forward on this thing, right? But again, because Cancer energy for you guys is 12th house, right? It could be okay, the desire is there, the thought is there, but actually taking the action could be that last hurdle that you guys need to clear right now. All right, in the environment position, we have the Empress. So I will say, if this is more of a romantic connection situation that you guys are dealing with, if you're waiting for the other person to make the first move in the situation, you might be waiting for a while, right? Because the Empress energy is definitely more of a receptive energy. We see the Venus symbolism there, right? So they tend to let things come to them. They might try to give off some signals that they're open for in advance, but at the same time, they're not necessarily going to be proactive about going after something. So if this is someone you're dealing with, this might be another indicator for you guys that you might actually have to be the ones to make that first move. But yeah, for some of you, this might be your energy, right? Where you're just hoping for something to come to you, even though you might desire it, you might know exactly what you want, but for whatever reason, there could be a bit of a hesitancy on your part to actually go after it. At least this month, right? Because we know it's not typically your style. All right, then the hopes or fears position, we have the moon. So, all right, won't focus. But seeing the moon come up here, especially in this position, I feel like this is just pointing to the situation, right? Where you're fearing making the wrong decision, right? Where you're like, okay, so like I said, if it's some creative project that you've been working on, right? Let's get it off the romantic path. Like, let's say it's a creative project you work on, and you just have this fear that, oh, okay, yeah, you might think it's good, your friends, family might tell you it's good, but you might be like, oh no, maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. If I put it out there, people are going to think it's stupid, right? Things along those lines, or there could be a lot of self-doubt that you guys are going through right now. But yeah, that's why I feel like this is saying that you're, fearful that you're just not seeing the situation clearly. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Page of Wands. So ultimately, this is a good card to see as far as I feel like this is saying you guys will end up taking action. It might not be a huge gesture, right, given that it's just a page energy, but at the same time, at least it's the wand suit, which is your natural energy. So you'd be at least more comfortable with the way you do decide to move forward on the situation, right? Whereas the Page of Cups energy might not come as naturally to you. The Page of Swords energy might not come as naturally to you. But Page of Wands is your element. Like, okay, figured out a way that I could come forward that works for me, right? And I'm going to do it. So, pretty good outcome in that regard. And bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. So, yeah, this definitely, especially given that those swords are pointed right toward the moon, I feel like this is just pointing to what I was saying, where like you guys could really be stuck in your head around the situation, right? Fearful, overthinking it for whatever reason at this time, and I feel like I said, that's the energy looks like it will be clearing for you guys this month. But yeah, it definitely looks like that's what you've been going through for a bit. And I mean, to be fair, the Mercury retrograde that we're still going through started in Libra, which is your third house communication. So yeah, I mean, it would make sense if that has been impacting you maybe a little bit more than most, right? So that's what I see with that. Moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have always do your best and take action without expectation. Oh, excuse me, take action without expecting a reward. All right, so let's see what the actual message says. Get it to focus a little better. All right, it says do your best and take the action because you love it, not because you expect a reward. When you take action without expecting a reward, you enjoy every action and you can even receive greater rewards than you imagined. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good message there, right? As far as you, at the very least, it'll keep you more in the flow, right? If you're not thinking about, oh, if I do this, I'll get this reward. If you're just really doing it because it comes naturally to you, right? Then you tend to put your best foot forward anyway without the anxiety of, oh, I want it to be just right, right? It just tends to flow more naturally in that way. So hopefully that resonated with you. All right, I'm moving on to your Wisdom Oracle card. We have Truth to Be Told. There's the artwork, and the number is 14. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, the essential meaning says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. The oracle's message: there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent to a believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion, will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. And again, it calls back to what I was saying as far as the Mercury retrograde energy did start in Alice communication. So maybe that's just throwing you for a loop for a bit, but more of a temporary thing. The relationship message says people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based on your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, because another way I could picture that going in my head is with the Chariot there, more of an action-oriented card versus the Empress, which is definitely much more of an energy of receptivity. Maybe you feel like the balance, right, the Temperance in reverse is out of whack there, where you might feel like you're contributing a lot more to the relationship than the other person, right? So maybe that's what the conversation would be around there. The prosperity message says, are you willing to do whatever it takes to experience the prosperous life you desire? If you want to be an artist, do you make your art a priority? If you want to be a healer, do you set time aside to learn new things to help you serve? A writer must write and a singer must sing. Being true to your calling is essential to your moving forward. There is another oracle message here too. It's time to have a look at the real, honest truth about your thoughts, feelings, and belief about prosperity, about your relationship to money, to compensation, and to meaningful work. Ask yourself, what is true for me? And you will find the key to abundance. So definitely a pretty positive message there too. And maybe that's even why you're in that more reflective, introspective energy with the Queen of Cups, right? Because for some of you might already be reevaluating that. So hopefully that resonated. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Bhramara mudra. The keyword for it is harmony. And all right, there's the info on it. If you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, but under benefits, it says improves the health of the lungs and large intestine, balances the immune system, particularly in cases of immune overreaction, reduces allergic reactions to food and pollen, soothes cough and irritated lungs. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description below. As always, we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.